Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to unpack a massive problem in the world of cryptocurrency. But we're also going to dig into a really surprising root cause, one that actually goes back decades. Okay, let's just dive right in with this number. $80 million. Let that sink in for a second. That's how much money people reported losing to crypto scams between October 2020 and March 2021. That's just a 6-month window, and this is according to the Federal Trade Commission. And here's where it gets kind of wild. Look at the scale of this jump. We're not talking about a small increase here. Compared to the exact same time frame just 1 year earlier, reported losses shot up by nearly 1,000%. I mean, that's not growth, that's an explosion. It tells us something really big is going on. So, how in the world are scammers pulling this off so successfully? Well, the FTC report basically lays out their playbook, and it's full of tactics that are super effective because they prey on both our excitement and our confusion. The methods are pretty clever, you have to admit. You've got these bogus investment websites that look totally legit, packed with fake testimonials and confusing jargon. Then there are the giveaway scams, where they impersonate famous people like Elon Musk. Get this, victims lost over $2 million in just 6 months to fake Elon Musk's alone. And it can get really personal too, with things like romance scams or people pretending to be from the government. And this brings us to the real heart of the issue today. Is this just about a bunch of criminals jumping on a new hot trend? Or is there something baked into the technology itself that's making all of us, even smart people, so incredibly vulnerable to these kinds of traps? While it turns out, the answer is rooted in a problem that computer scientists and security experts have been wrestling with for a long, long time. We're looking at almost 3 decades of research here, and what's so remarkable is that the core theme just never changes. Way back in 1993, a researcher pointed out that most security failures weren't hackers breaking the code, it was just regular people making mistakes. Then, in 1999, a famous study proved that even people who wanted to be secure couldn't figure out the software. This isn't a new problem at all. And this quote, man, it just nails the issue. It's from over 2 decades ago, but it feels like it could have been written yesterday about your average crypto app. Think about it. You can have the most perfect, unbreakable security system in the world, but it is completely useless if a normal person can't figure out how to use it without messing up. So this old problem of bad design and user confusion, it's now playing out in a brand new, very high-stakes arena, that cryptocurrency wallet right there on your phone. And you don't have to take my word for it. A really detailed analysis looked at over 45,000 user reviews for the 5 biggest mobile crypto wallets, and the picture it paints is, well, it's pretty bleak. Once they filtered for comments that were specifically about the user experience, a staggering 96% of them were negative. People are really not having a good time. And here's the core of the problem. It's this massive clash of expectations. We all come to these crypto apps with a mindset we learned from our normal banking apps. We expect there to be safety nets, right? Like you should be able to cancel a mistaken transaction or call customer support. But the blockchain technology underneath it all works in a totally different and way more unforgiving way. Every transaction is permanent. And if you lose your seed phrase, which is like this unrecoverable master password, your money is just gone forever. There's no one to call for help. And you can literally hear this frustration in people's own words, pulled straight from those app reviews. One person begs, "If I unfortunately sent any token on wrong address, there is no cancel option, add cancel option." Another is pleading for an email backup to recover their money. They're asking for features that sound totally reasonable, but are fundamentally impossible with how crypto is designed. And this deep confusion, it leads to frustration, and a lot worse, it leads to devastating losses. So you've got all this widespread confusion, this massive gap between what people think should happen and how the tech actually works. Well, that gap, that's the exact vulnerability that scammers are built to exploit. It's the crack in the armor that they just slip right through. Okay, first, let's just take the well-documented problem of transaction fees. As we just saw, users are completely mystified by them. They don't get that the fees are set by how busy the network is at that moment, not by the app they're using. So naturally, they often feel like they're just being ripped off. Now, watch how a scammer weaponizes that exact confusion. They get a victim to invest on a fake website. And then when the victim wants to cash out their profits, the scammer says, "Oh, you just need to send a little more crypto to cover the fee or the tax." And because a victim is already confused and suspicious about how fees work, this sounds plausible. They're preying on a misunderstanding that the system itself created. It's really the perfect trap. Okay, so understanding this root cause, this weaponized confusion, makes the official advice from the FTC so much more powerful. It's not just a random list of tips to memorize. It's a specific strategy for how to navigate a system that is, frankly, confusing and poorly designed for normal people. So the big takeaway here is learning to spot these red flags, because they're all designed to exploit that confusing environment. First, anybody promising you guaranteed huge returns is lying. It's always a scam. Second, no legitimate business is going to insist that you pay them in crypto. That is a massive warning sign. Third, just don't ever mix online dating and investment advice. And finally, remember that the crypto itself is the investment. Don't trust anyone who says they have some secret trick to multiply it for you.
And all of this leaves us with one final and I think pretty critical question. As our technology gets more and more complex, who really bears the responsibility for safety? Is it enough to just tell all of us, the users, to be more careful while navigating systems that are inherently confusing and unforgiving? Or do the architects and the builders of these new financial worlds have a much deeper, more fundamental obligation to design them with guardrails that actually protect good people from falling into these traps in the first place?